All right, so let's go here, ladies and gentlemen. It says here that insufficient control over the provision of external user accounts. What is the provision? Deprovisioning. That word, deprovisioning. What does that mean? Let me look that up. And welcome to the platform. This is part 3, really, of part 3 of 3 of the Auditor General's report on the Support Jamaica website. We dealt with part 1 and part 2 already, so this is part 3. Deprovisioning. Let me look up that word. Deprovisioning meaning. Deprovisioning means is the systematic removal of user access rights, software license, and IT resources when they are no longer needed. It is the exact opposite of provisioning, and typically happens during employee offboarding or role changes. It says that the employee departure, staff leave the company, role changes, international transfer, shift jobs, duties, project completions, contractor finish, short-term tasks, assess retirement software and cloud servers are shut down, disabling accounts, turning off login access, revoking permission, remove. Also, basically that is levels of control. So them say over review of the audit log show the user 1 accounts was deactivated on 25th of December 2023, while the accounts for user 4 was deactivated December 29. The deprovisioning dates for the remaining 6 external accounts could not be confirmed through audit log evidence. However, all accounts reflected an inactivity status on the date of review on 25th of December, the 31st of December 2025. Odpem indicated that actions were taken to deprovision the external user accounts and develop a Support Jamaica government.jm administrative dashboard access requested form. A timeline was not provided for the implementation of the access form. So they have been running this thing like a bagger entity, ladies and gentlemen. Not professional at all, leaving gaps for potential criminality, whether on purpose or just by them being incompetent. Further, the rationale for the deprovisioning of these accounts was unclear, particularly considering the purposes previously communicated for the creation of the accounts. So now they removed these people from access, but the reason they removed them was unclear. Oh my God, Lord have mercy, ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem. Something alright.
Something alright, my wisdom warriors. Something is not right. Tell you about them.
Something is not right. Why did they remove the individuals without a proper reason for removing them? Did they do something wrong? Why remove them? The rationale for deprovisioning of these accounts were unclear, particularly considering the purposes previously communicated for the creation of the accounts. So they made it appear as if the creation of the accounts, ladies and gentlemen, was vital somehow. It was critical. So when they got a reason for the deprovisioning, the removal of the accounts, it was not, there was no, it didn't make sense. It was unclear. What is going on, bro? What?
Emotional damage.
All of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
The truth is the light, ladies and gentlemen. The standard practice dictates that user accounts should be deprovisioned following a change in an individual's role, completion of assigned responsibility, or separation from the organization. So there's 3 ways how you are deprovisioned. Is either you them change your role, is either you complete your assigned responsibility, or you have what's up debts, you have been, you leave the organization. That makes a lot of sense. Big up yourself, Sparky. That makes a lot of sense, right? But it goes on to say that yet the specific basis for deprovisioning in this instance was not sustained, was not substantiated. So they basically left them in the dust. They left them to ponder why these individuals were deprovisioned. There was no clear reason why. Out of the 3 reasons, there was no clear reason why, ladies and gentlemen, they were removed. What a tangled web we weave.
Something not right, my wisdom warriors. Something is not right. Tell you about them.
Hey, boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no 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 way.
Something is not right, ladies. Oh, Lord of mercy. Something is not right, ladies and gentlemen. I can't put my finger on it, but something. That's why I'm saying I have to go over the Auditor General report. This lack of justification represents a control weakness that undermines accountability, traceability, and increases the risk of inappropriate or unauthorized access due to inconsistent or poorly governed deprovision practices. Sorry, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me drink some water. As there would I say, I need some water. Big up Ishmael. I need some water. Throat I get dry. What is this? What is this?
Practices. Page 17. Super admin role assigned contrary to the principle of least privilege. 2.15. Additionally, we noted that the super admin role was also assigned by user 1 to the current Director General to facilitate ongoing user account administration, despite user administration activities not ordinarily falling within the scope of responsibilities for a head of entity. Notably, Odpem's Information Systems Manager did not have a user account or was assigned responsibilities in relation to the Support Jamaica administrative dashboard. The audit sought to obtain the basis for the assignment of the super admin role to the head of the entity, but a clear response was not provided. As a result, the appropriateness of the assignment could not be assessed. This deficiency also raises concerns regarding the application of user management best practices, particularly the principle of least privilege and the enforcement of segregation of duties within the organization.
So I'll be a mix-up of one, I said, with the administrative duties, ladies and gentlemen. Mighty God of Daniel. Super admin role assigned contrary to principle of least privilege. User 1, super admin role was also assigned by user 1 to the current Director General to facilitate ongoing user account administration. So user 1, super admin role was assigned by user 1 to the Director General, despite user administration activities not ordinarily falling within the scope of responsibility for head of entity. So user administration activities would normally be given to the head of entity. That is interesting. Notably, Odpem Information System Manager did not have a user account or was assigned responsibilities in relation to support Jamaica Administrative Dashboard. Let me read that again. Odpem's Information System Manager. Odpem's Information System Manager. Odpem's Information Systems Manager did not have a user account or was assigned responsibility in relation to support Jamaica Administrative Dashboard. No, man. No. This is some weird activity. I don't know what is. The Information Systems Manager was not assigned a user account or was assigned responsibility in relation to the support Jamaica Administrative Dashboard. The audit sought to obtain the basis for the assignment of the super admin role to the head of entity, but a clear response was not provided. As a result, the appropriateness of the assignment could not be assessed. The deficiency also raises concerns regarding the application of user management best practices, particularly principle of least privilege and the enforcement of segregation of duties within the organization. So, segregation of duties is important, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to give anybody, one person, too much power. Because if you do, that person can wield that power to their own advantage. A segregation of duties helps to keep the system more accountable, more transparent. You understand what I say? So, that's what the Auditor General is concerned about. The way how they structured this. She's saying that the head of entity does not get those responsibilities. There's a reason for it. Very interesting. Let's continue, ladies and gentlemen.
Organization. 2.16 The absence of a documented justification combined with the lack of a formal approval process represents significant control weaknesses within the organization's user access management. Odpem did not demonstrate effective separation between the roles for requesting, approving, and implementing access, nor did it establish controls to prevent conflicts. Also, there was insufficient evidence of additional safeguards for privileged access and inadequate.
Let's go over that again. The absence of a documented the absence of a documented justification combined with a lack of formal approval process represents significant control weaknesses within the organization user access management. Odpem did not demonstrate effective separation between the roles for requesting, approving, and implementing access, nor did it establish controls to prevent conflicts. Also, conflicts of interest, obviously. Also, there was insufficient evidence of additional safeguards for privileged access and inadequate maintenance of records for the access changes. These deficiencies contrary to international best practices. As a result, there was an increased risk that access rights may be provisioned to individuals without adequate oversight or proper alignment with their actual job responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen,
what can go so?
we in a trouble, you know? we in a trouble. But I remember Andrew Ole saying that he put the office, Odpem, in his office because he saw gaps. I distinctly remember him saying that, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, Holness says Odpem shift to his office is temporary. It's gonna be temporary, right? And it would allow the office to operate in such a way that those gaps would be, they would be gone pretty much. This is live, Stella. This is live. Once you see me like this, it's live. Yeah, man, it's live. I'm live right now. But what we're hearing from the Auditor General, I mean, the entity was operating in such a way where there was too much. What's up, Jody? There were too much room for skullduggery. We don't know if skullduggery go on, and that's not my argument, My argument is the room for skullduggery, is the not knowing. And that is a problem with the Jamaica Labour Party. It's the not knowing. Them have a not knowing problem. Them have an accountability problem. Right? The man boasts for, as a matter of fact, let me play one little thing phone before I go back to that. Because this has to be a part of this. I'm going to find it. Let's continue. I'm going to find it. I will read up to this point. Odpem has indicated, right?
Odpem has since indicated that management will formally approve and implement a comprehensive access control policy that requires documented justification for all user accounts, including those assigned to external entities and government ministries, departments, and agencies. The policy will satisfy the access right and information security requirements of ISO/IC 27002:2022. The policy will require the timely deprovision of user access when access is no longer required. Directions were also issued by the Director General for a log of access requests, approvals, modifications, and removals to be maintained, along with the periodic reviews of user accounts and monitoring of privileged accounts. Noncompliance with the Data Protection Act. 2.18 Data protection is a fundamental aspect of information security, ensuring that personal and sensitive data are handled securely and in compliance with legal and regulatory requirements. In Jamaica, Section 30 of the Data Protection Act 2025 requires the implementation of appropriate security measures to safeguard such data, while Section 15(1) mandates that data controllers be registered with the Office of the Information Commissioner. Additionally, Section 20 requires the appointment of a data protection officer, where necessary. 2.19 The supportjamaica.gov.jm website collects personal and health-related data from donors and potential volunteers. In order to ensure the appropriate handling and processing of this information, a Data Processing Agreement, DPA, with an effective date of October 28, 2025, was 5. The Data Protection Act, page 18, figure 9. Donor participation and donations amount. Support Jamaica website 12,000. December 20. Total donation. Source. Web.
Alright, so let me just read that because it kind of skip. Sorry about that. Wow. They collect personal and health related data. The Support Jamaica government website collects personal and health related data from donors and potential volunteers in order to ensure the appropriate handling and processing of this information. A data process agreement DPA with an effective date of October 28, 2025 was signed between Odpem and private developer in December 2025. The agreement defines the roles and responsibility for Odpem as the data controller and the private developer as the data processor. As at 2026 January 11th, donations totaling US 1.399 million and Jamaican 71 million were made by 16,900 individuals. Further, 4,600 individuals registered as volunteers between November 1st, 2025 and January 19, 2026 on the platform. So 16,900 persons was already, oh my God. Wow. Yo, yo, this is wild. What's going on, Larry Shopper? Yo, this is wild, bro. I'm not telling no lie, man. Yo, this is how I blow my brain cells, brother. The implications are insane. According to the agreement, the processor implemented security measures in compliance with JDPA, GPD Article 32, and SOC2 Trust Service Criteria Figure 11. However, there was no evidence to demonstrate that Odpem verified the private developer's compliance with these requirements. Odpem was also unable to confirm that the relevant technical and organizational security measures stated in the agreement were in place to secure personal and health data collected. Jeez and peas. Let me read that again. And this was at the time of the investigation. Odpem was also unable to confirm that the relevant technical and organizational security measures stated in the agreement were in place to secure personal and health data collected subsequent to the launch of the website. So they couldn't tell you that. So when the website was launched, they couldn't tell you that the relevant technical organizational security measures were in place. That's what I'm understanding. If I can be corrected, I will take the correction. But what I'm reading, that is what it's saying. Odpem just they didn't verify. They didn't verify this. What does that mean for the personal and health data of the individuals that donated? What's up, Janet? My God. Wow. Additionally, documentation sustained from the private developer through Odpem indicated that the developer was not SOC2 Type 2 compliant at the time of the agreement or the website launch. Instead, a compliance engagement letter dated October 16, 2025 indicated that an entity was engaged to perform advisory and support activities to prepare, name redacted, systems, processes, and documentation for SOC2 Type 2 compliance. Lord Jesus. Odpem has since advised that it is in possession of the documentation related to the implementation of the security measures. We further noted that the privacy notice of the supportjamaica.gov.jm website states, access is strictly limited to authorized personnel from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management and the Office of the Prime Minister. Misleading privacy notice. Wait a minute. We further noted that the privacy notice on the website, it says that access is strictly authorized to the Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Odpem and the Prime Minister. However, given that the platform operates as a SaaS solution, whereby the private developer acts as a data processor, access of the personal data would be required for operational and support purposes. The privacy notice claim was therefore potentially misleading. Mighty God, as it did not accurately reflect the data process legitimate access to personal information.
Ball out! Whoa, yo, yo, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out from Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
Jamaica no mean say no. Let me read it again. However, as a matter of fact, let me make you hear it for the people who are there on TikTok. Let me make you hear it and read for yourself. You listen to this. And the reason why I read it too, because you see you go page to page, it read the page number and them something. It kind of show you off. So you better if me read it. Because I record it right now, everybody has seen it on Bolo TV. However, given that the platform operates as a SaaS solution, whereby the private developer acts as a data processor, access to personal data would be required for operational and support purposes. The privacy notice on the website, ladies and gentlemen, claim was therefore potentially misleading as it did not accurately reflect the data processor's legitimate access to personal information. So the person who developed the website see everybody data too. Not just the Prime Minister and not just Odpem. But then put on the website, ladies and gentlemen, access is strictly limited to authorized personnel from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management and the Office of the Prime Minister. Unless the developer of the Support Jamaica website working at the Office of the Prime Minister or the developer work in an Odpem, this is misleading. This is a bold-faced false advertisement, fraud, lie. You understand what I say? And you talk about privacy issue with people, health data, then personal information. Hey, mama. Let me tell you something, man. A story I come to bump right now. Remember me tell you that. The privacy notice also refer to Data Protection Officer, DPO, within Odpem. But at the time of the review, the entity did not appoint a Data Protection Officer. G's and P's. No. Oh, if you have a privacy notice that says the Data Protection Officer within the Odpem, right, was referred to somebody that would have access, but you didn't have a Data Protection Officer. So one dopey did have access to the data too. I want vacuum, nobody not what the post. What kind of bangarang them sit there? What is, man? On review, the entity did not appoint a Data Protection Officer as described under Section 20 of the DPA. So the data protection, jeez, hey, the money I go out there, man. Further, Odpem was not registered as a data controller with the Office of the Information Commissioner up to the date of this report. Jesus, Father God, take a case. The man them a work back way. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you run a country but you don't know how the country run? Legally, like by law, don't they have legal advisors as to how to set up a company? to make sure that you're legally compliant to the law. How do you start this and not do what the why didn't they go to the Auditor General and say, Auditor General, could you help us in making sure that we begin this thing in a way that we will be compliant with all the laws necessary for a clean audit? Because remember, you know, then when I say, oh, nobody can say we thief for no money and everything, I go, all right, and all of that. As a matter of fact, make me play the tape. Make me play the tape. Wanna listen to this, ladies and gentlemen?
Prime Minister, the Odpem is Jamaica's primary national body responsible for disaster risk management. Its role is to ensure that the country is prepared to prevent where possible, mitigate where necessary, respond effectively when disasters occur, and recover in a way that builds resilience. Essentially, Odpem serves as the coordinating body that connects policy, planning, coordination, information, logistics, and operational support to disaster events, bringing together ministries, departments, agencies, local government authorities, security agencies, private sector entities, and the community structures. In the case of Hurricane Melissa, the Odpem was able to maintain the national coordination framework under intense pressure. The organization supported preparedness and response coordination, emergency information management, interagency tasking, relief efforts, damage assessments, shelter coordination, shifting to early recovery. It also helped to sustain a shared operational picture and supported the government's shift from the immediate relief efforts into a more structured early recovery process. Beyond the emergency phase, Prime Minister, Odpem has also contributed to shaping the recovery efforts, and by supporting the situational awareness, facilitating coordination among local and national actors and international actors, while also helping to guide the transition, as mentioned before, from relief to sustainable recovery. Its works followed Melissa has reinforced the importance of a whole-of-government approach to disaster risk management and recovery efforts. Looking ahead, Prime Minister, the Odpem must provide or evolve from being seen as a response agency to being fully positioned as a national resilience institution. This involves strengthening preparedness systems, deepening technological integration amongst key stakeholders, improving parish and community-level coordination and capacity, modernizing information and monitoring processes, enhancing logistics and operational coordination systems, and supporting stronger recovery governance matters. It will also entail building a more technologically capable, agile, and forward-looking organization that can better manage the complexities of disaster risk management in the changing climatic environments. Key to this point, Prime Minister, that Odpem is not only an emergency response organization, it must strategically position itself as an institution whose effectiveness directly impacts public safety, continuance of government, infrastructure resilience, and national development.
So everything we hear a while ago, this is on Andrew Holness YouTube page now. This is the reason why Odpem was moved to the office of the Prime Minister. Let's listen now more about the donation, the support Jamaica. Listen to this.
I'm pleased to report that I have seen improvements in the functioning of Odpem, and they were tasked to do a few things. One of them would be to strengthen their inventory management system, to put a system in place that delivers real-time information. They are well down the wicket with that through support from our Information Technology Authority. And the objective of that, the end objective of that, is to answer calls and support the whole idea of transparency. So eventually, and when I say eventually, very soon, as soon as the system is up and running, then we will be able to publish for the public to see what came in as donations and what went out as in terms of their usage and who were the beneficiaries. So the public will be able to see in real time what is the status of donations. That gives confidence to the public. It gives confidence to our donors as well. In these matters, there should be nothing secret.
Only hear him. Only hear him. Let me continue, ladies and gentlemen. Mighty God. The privacy notice also refers to a data protection officer within the Odpem. But at this time, of the review entity did not appoint a data protection officer as prescribed under Section 20 of the DPA. Furthermore, Odpem was not registered as a data controller with the Office of the Information Commissioner. Jamaica, how can Andrew Honest just say all things he just said? But they were not registered in the Office of the Information Commissioner up to the date of this report. Consequently, Odpem is in breach of Section 15 of the Data Protection Act, which prohibits the processing of personal data without an organization being duly registered. Mighty God of Daniel. This man is out. This is untenable. Odpem has since indicated that the process are being put in place to develop and implement its data protection framework. The organization is assessing the assignment of a suitable qualified officer to serve as data protection officer, noting that the post is not yet part of its current established consultancy service to support its data protection implementation program, which will include registering as a data controller with the Office of Information Commissioner, documenting and classifying all personal data processing activities, implementing the 8 data protection standards, establishing the right handling of lawful basis framework, developing breach response procedure, embedding privacy by design principle, and providing staff training. Additionally, Odpem has noted that the necessary steps are being taken to update the Support Jamaica website privacy notice to disclose the developer's role and access as a data processor. Jamaica, let me tell you something. Selvan have big up yourself, my general. What can go so? Let me tell you something. The last part there, it is being updated to show the role of the developer. The man then false advertise on the website and say access is strictly limited to authorized personnel. These people cannot be trusted. And if you want to send no money to support Jamaica website again, galang, that a phone business. I will be telling all of my family members, don't send a dime through that. If they did ever have any intention, if a next hurricane come, God forbid, and one disaster come, support Jamaica should not be. None of my family members, me only can lead with my family. Me not tell nobody else what to do, but my family member, me have to protect my family member them based off how me I read and understand. This look like a SCAM. They cannot be trusted, ladies and gentlemen. No, sir. The bridge of trust has been destroyed based off what I'm reading here, sir. There's no way me I work with this website. As a matter of fact, anything to do with Andrew Wallace and I don't have nothing to do with it. I don't business them want to create a new one. As long as Andrew Wallace is a part of it, I don't want to have nothing to do with it. These people cannot be trusted, ladies and gentlemen. Support Jamaica Administration dashboard. Minister of Education and Youth Skills and Information, user 1. User 2. Minister of Education. Hold on. Minister of Education. Super admin role. Minister of Labor and Social Security. Voluntary Management. Jamaica Promotion Corporation. Pledge Manager. Office of the Prime Minister is user 5. Minister of Culture and Gender and Entertainment. No, Bob Secretary. No, don't already explore that. Minister of Labor and Social Security. No, my man did that. One name, Pernell Charles Jr. Office of the Prime Minister, obviously, Andrew Wallace. Jamaica Promotion Corporation. Who that? Let me go Google that. Let me Google that. Hold on there. I go think some company last page. Jamaica Corporation How go on in this? How we really are going on so? Hold on, what really are going on so my side? Jamaica Promotion Corporation. Alright, Jamaica Promotion. Who won that? Promotion Corporation. Let me see who that. Jam Pro. Jamaica Corporation. Let me see for Jam Pro. I don't know. I don't know if it's Jam Pro, but hold on. Look like them are come up. Jamaica Promotion Corporation. Do business, blah blah blah. Do business Jamaica. A great place to do business. Choose Jamaica. Anytime I see that, you know, say JLB involved in that. Choose Jamaica. Stay connected. Information service. Jamaica, I'm telling you something. This not look safe. You make me know when you think in that comment section, because you're supposed to have 1,000 different things based off how we just read and go through a while ago. May I tell you, it not normal. You like, share and subscribe.